what do you think the timeline looks like for that, for us to turn that corner? So for there to be critical mass, let's say, adopting these ideas and being able to, I mean, to outweigh a trader or something seems like a really big idea to be able to gain enough mass in a community to do that, let's say. But even on a smaller scale, what do you think for there to be enough momentum that people like are very comfortable with it and it becomes more commonplace?
Well, it's probably in the order of 3 generations or something like that. I mean, we've got a lot of time, and the idea that you'll ever wipe out Autotrader or CarGurus at this point is unlikely, but it's just a matter of time. You know, when Microsoft went through antitrust court battles, let's call it, you know, the idea was like, no one is ever going to have a better web browser than Explorer. You can't bundle Explorer with Windows and just expect people to use it. It's unfair. Or Google with search engine. Like, they're dominant now, but they won't be dominant forever necessarily, not if better technology is available. So just like with, say, cell phones in Africa, like, they don't bother putting landlines into new villages in developing countries. Just cell phones completely eclipsed the idea that you needed to bury copper wire to have a telecommunication system. Well, it's the same for banks. The idea that if someone walks 2 miles for water, they're going to walk 100 miles to deposit 2 pennies in a bank, that's not happening. But technologies like Bitcoin can enable self-custody of assets. So technology is available, or the quote I'm trying to come up with here is that the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. And places can leapfrog old ideas by simply moving to the new technology at their first opportunity. So if our children had the choice to use a trustless system that doesn't require identification at whatever age that they have money to buy Bitcoin or buy into a system like that, versus going to a bank that is not perceived with the same prestige as it used to be. Like, what used to be like airline pilots was like a really prestigious job, and they could walk through a bar wearing their pilot's wings and be like, oh my goodness. Well, banking looked like that too. And whether it was the Occupy Wall Street movement or whether it was the bailout in 2008, whatever it was, bankers have fallen from grace in the same way. So what will our children think about the opportunities for financial future? They might look more to something like Bitcoin, and then, well, what will their kids think? So 2 generations down the road, it's much easier to imagine a world without an auto trader, or a world with a diminished role for an auto trader and a stronger role for a private technology, or a privacy focused technology, because people are being burned by their privacy leaks all the time. Like, from just the privacy of letting out their own thoughts. Like the lady that flew to Africa and made rude, disparaging, racist comments, woke up on the plane to realize that she'd sort of lost her job and her future by letting her own dumb mind say something stupid.
Wow.
So yeah, so some protection, both from yourself and of yourself, baked into this technology. Like, it should be private by default, these transactional methods. And the only reason Auto Trader is as big as they are is because they can sell all the data that they get. Like, it's yeah, it served.
Well, I like what you said.
It served a purpose, and it doesn't any longer necessarily.
Yeah, and I think that the need for privacy, and then the reduction of cost, and then to your other point, like the information redundancy. Like, why do 5 dealerships need to know where you live? How is that even relevant to
They just
a
need
transaction?
to know, are you licensed? Oh yeah, are you licensed to drive or not? And
do you have insurance?
Yeah.
Really?
And so they don't need to know who provides the insurance, or, you know, all of that additional information that is shared all the time. And it's just because no one has made any demand for there to be another way. Well, there are people making those demands, and it may be a matter of time, or it may just be a fringe piece of technology. But once the patents run out on new tech, it just gets worked into the existing systems that everyone uses. So